And welcome back to the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. Tomorrow on Speed, before the Great American Race, we're there in Daytona with the ultimate pre-race show, NASCAR Race Day. There's no better place to get revved up for the Daytona 500. NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot, live tomorrow at 9 Eastern, only on Speed. Fox broadcast will start at 12 o'clock tomorrow, high noon, as they get ready to battle for the 52nd running of the Daytona 500. Let's head down to pit road for our Golden Corrals Who's Hungry for the Flag. We'll start with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, it's pretty simple. You just talk about Todd Bodine when you say Daytona. He's the only driver with back-to-back victories here at this racetrack. And the truck that he has with him tonight is the same one that he's used to win 4 times, twice at Daytona and 2 times at Talladega. How else is that truck finished? Well, it has a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. In 9 races, I'd say that's a pretty good average. Look for the 30 truck at the front of the field. Adam?
To this point in our pre-race coverage, Ray, we have not mentioned the name Matt Crafton, but that is not an indication that he is not a capable driver. He is very capable. 2009, the best year of his career. He recorded 21 top 10 finishes in 25 starts. 5 different times he was a runner-up, and he finished a career best second in championship points. He starts 17th tonight. He would love to get back to victory lane, but more importantly, he wants to continue that consistency that made him a title contender a year ago. Rick?
Thanks a lot, Adam. Ray, we appreciate all the insight you're going to be giving us all evening long.
You know, Rick, we heard the excitement in Jason White's voice. I'm excited for Jason White.
Well, I tell you what, we get a good view of the backstretch. And Phil, I know this is one of your favorite shots that our director Roger shows us every week at a racetrack. That's the shot we're going to see, and right now they're calm. When they come out of 2 after the green flag flies, they're fanning out all over.
They're going to fan out all over this racetrack. You don't want to get inside this double yellow line, but you can see Jason White's career stats. 79 starts, his first career pole. Remember, this is the exact same truck that Colin Brown had here as a backup. This is not the truck that Colin Brown got a pole with. This is the backup truck.
On his outside, Elliott Sadler starting his first ever race in the Truck Series at Daytona. Sean Murphy, you see a little bit of damage to the right front of that truck. When they're coming up to speed on their second pace lap, actually got into another truck, and there was a little bit of damage on that 07. Donnie Nurenberger, the other truck that was involved in that incident.
Guys were warming up their tires, checking their pit road speed, and somehow it didn't all work out right.
And that's at 60 miles an hour. And now we're going to
70. They go 70 around the racetrack and only 55 on pit road. Is that silly?
Well, we're going to be going 180, and they're going to try to not hit each other.
Haven't they proved at 60 they could do it? I think they can prove it again.
Pace car is off the racetrack. It's all in the hands of Jason White. Green flag in the air. We're underway with the Truck Series 2010 season.
Already pushing and shoving, Phil. Ricky Carmichael gets a good run on the start here and gives Elliott Sadler a shove down into turn 1.
That 3 Chevrolets ganging up on the outside.
Right now, Jason doesn't have any help. Austin Dillon's trying to scramble to get to the back bumper of that gunbroker.com Ford.
Side by side as they go down the backstretch. Elliott Sadler leading the outside line. Here comes Ricky Carmichael behind him. Now they fan out 3 wide as they get into 3.
Wow, those trucks are
under trouble already. Austin Dillon in it, as well as Johnny Sauter. The 18 of Kyle Busch is also involved.
98. Oh, look at this truck. The 10.
Jennifer Jo Cobb also involved. A big accident getting into turn number 3. Landon Castle in the 98 also with damage.
Justin Lofton, the 7. There's the 15 of Ted Musgrave.
Huge crash.
Trying to get into turn number 3. You see the damage of the Bass Pro Shop Chevy Silverado. Austin Dillon driving that truck.
Well, we crashed at 60 miles an hour on the front stretch on the pace lap, and
about 170.
About 170. Had him hardly get up to speed good. There's Johnny Sauter, championship contender this year. Ted Musgrave, great opportunity here with Billy Balloon Motorsports. He has some pretty significant damage. Justin Lofton just about peeled the whole right side off that truck.
Let's work on both sides.
A lot of damage to that Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet of Austin Dillon. There's Jennifer Jo Cobb.
Jennifer Jo Cobb in that number 10 truck they purchased from Circle Bar Racing.
Serious suspension problems on the right front with that truck.
Man, it looked like those guys were flirting with that yellow line, and I think a couple of trucks went under the yellow line right where this accident occurred, which could have led to it, Phil. That's, you know, there's a lot of talk during the off seasons, let these guys race, but darn, the yellow line's there for a reason, and we got to stay above it.
Ray, what are they having to do to the 18?
Well, they're working on the right front fender there, Rick, but Kyle said he didn't feel like it had any problem with the steering. They just got a big fender rub, so they're trying to get their clearances there and figure out what all they're going to need to get those parts and pieces. You see some very loose sheet metal right there. They may have to get some bear bond on that, but they think there's no damage to the suspension underneath that hell of a good number 18.
So a lot of work taking place on pit road right now. Let's take a look at how this happened.
First of all, they're 3 wide. They get 3 wide here on the back straightaway. You can see the 51 truck.
The 55
gets a run on Austin Dillon. Austin starts to kind of come over a little bit to block him.
They touch, and then Austin starts wiggling, and then he catches Johnny Sauter up against the wall. Kyle Busch comes along. The 15 of Ted Musgrave with nowhere to go. The 98 of Landon Castle runs into his teammate Johnny Sauter.
That was just tight racing, 3 wide on the first darn lap.
See right there, you see the 3 start wiggling, and then he's going to lose control.
How about
his left front tire was locked up.
Series champion.
Look at Kyle Busch all up in the middle of it. Does a great job of surviving it. Too bad for Landon Castle. Just came along a little bit late. And here's Jennifer Joe. She's going a little bit faster, but darn, you can't see, Phil.
Yeah, this is a view I like right now, where you're going to see Eric Almirola will pull out. He's going to be side by side with Austin Dillon. Austin kind of creeps over a little bit, and they touch, and it gets Austin to wiggling, and he just gets behind in his steering a little bit, and then the thing heads towards the outside wall, takes Johnny Sauter with him.
You know, when I talk to my young drivers or anybody talks about Daytona, you don't ever want to get surprised. You got to constantly be looking in your mirror, looking around all around you so that nothing surprises you. When a truck sneaks 3 wide on you on the back straightaway, if it surprises you, it can cause a problem. I don't know that Austin was surprised, but it almost seemed like he just got in a bind there and couldn't get out of it.
Let's get another vantage point of this. This is after Austin has already got up into the wall.
Rick Crawford just narrowly avoids it in the 14 Lilly trucking.
Hit the outside wall pretty hard.
Yeah. After he already made contact. There's Nelson Piquet Jr. getting by, doing a nice job with no damage with that Red Horse truck.
2 trucks involved from Thor Sport Racing. Johnny Sauter as well as Landon Castle. Here we ride along with Rick Crawford.
3 wide ahead of you.
Wow, look at Rick. He's just
3 wide there. Easy, back it down, stay low.
digging.
All back up.
Nice job by Rick Crawford.
This is Kyle's vantage point.
He's all up in the middle of it.
I'm trying to move here. Check it right in front of you.
Kyle had a huge run and was trying to go to that high side.
Here's Johnny Sauter. Extremely disappointed. Really looks like maybe a championship contender this year, as strong as he finished last season, and not going to be a great start for the year.
Got all the fluid running out of the front of Landon Castle's truck. They'll have to take that back behind the wall, I suspect, Phil, and try to maybe put an oil cooler on it, radiator. You see these guys are going to desperately do whatever they have to do to get trucks repaired and back on the road. They know if we wrecked on the first lap, that might not be the last one, right?
Yeah, that's David Starr right there. We didn't even realize that he had any damage, but obviously with some left side damage to that Zachary Toyota.
Yeah, because he just went a lap down sitting on pit road while they're working on it. There goes the 98 truck of Landon Castle into the garage. Whether they try to repair it or just call it a night, it's too early to tell.
Remember, Kyle Busch was disappointed with his qualifying effort, and this is why. Starting at the back, you can get caught up in some of the problems, and that's exactly what has happened to Kyle Busch, as well as about 8 other trucks. We'll be back.